I never thought installing solar panels could start a neighborhood war, but that's exactly what happened when I moved to Sunnyside Estates. The first few weeks were a dream. Birds chirping, friendly neighbors, and my electric bill was already dropping thanks to my new solar setup. Then I met Karen Thompson, the self-appointed queen of our homeowners association. It all started with a letter in my mailbox. Dear homeowner, your recent installation does not comply with neighborhood aesthetic guidelines. Please remove within 7 days. No name, just the HOA letterhead. I was confused. I had submitted all my paperwork and gotten official approval. So, I decided to clear things up at the next HOA meeting. That's where I saw Karen in all her glory, mid-50s, an aggressive bob haircut, sunglasses worn indoors, and a clipboard she treated like it held state secrets. She ran the meeting like a drill sergeant, shutting down everyone's concerns. When it was my turn, she fixed her gaze on me. Mr. Rivera, she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness, those solar panels are an eyesore. They hurt property values. The committee made a mistake approving them. I calmly pulled out my signed approval documents. Her face went beet red. Well, I wasn't at that meeting, she snapped, and as president, I have final say. They come down next week, or you'll face daily fines. I explained that the panels were legal and eco-friendly. A few neighbors even nodded along. Karen's grip on her clipboard tightened until her knuckles turned white. Then, she suddenly called a bathroom break, and when she came back, she just skipped my item and ended the meeting. I figured my paperwork was my shield. I had no idea how wrong I was. A few days later, I came home from a work trip to find my solar panels destroyed. Two were completely shattered, the rest disconnected. A note was taped to my door. Now they definitely need to be removed. Management, not the HOA, not Karen, just management. It was blatant vandalism. But here's the thing Karen didn't know about me. I am not just an eco-enthusiast. I'm a security consultant. My house is wired with cameras. I pulled up the footage, and bingo. There she was, clear as day. Karen Thompson, strutting across my lawn at 3 in the afternoon with a stepladder and a garden rake, ready to commit a felony like she was just doing some light yard work. The video showed her climbing that ladder and smashing my panels with furious swings. It was unbelievable. First, I called my insurance company and filed a police report. The damage was over $7,000. My lawyer friend said it was straight-up criminal destruction of property and told me to press charges. But I decided to try one last, more creative approach. I printed out a few high-quality screenshots from the security footage and put them in an envelope. That evening, I walked over and knocked on Karen's door. She looked annoyed until I handed her the envelope. "What is this?" she asked, her voice shaking just a little. "Just some paperwork about my solar panels," I replied calmly. "I thought you'd want to see it before the special HOA meeting tomorrow." I turned and walked away. The gasp I heard behind me was almost worth the $7,000 in damages. Almost. The next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. "Please call me. We need to discuss restitution." Karen Thompson. I didn't reply. Some lessons just need to sink in. At the emergency HOA meeting I called, the room was packed. Karen was sitting quietly in a corner, not at the head of the table. The vice president nervously started the meeting. I presented my case, the approval forms, photos of the damage, and then the grand finale. I projected the security footage onto the wall for everyone to see. The room was dead silent as they watched their HOA president methodically destroy my property. When the video ended and the lights came up, every single eye in that room was on Karen. Her reign was officially over. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see what happens next. "It's not what it looks like," she stammered, her voice shaking. The panels were installed incorrectly. They were a fire hazard. I was trying to prevent danger. The room was silent, but you could feel the skepticism hanging in the air. People exchanged looks, not buying it for a second. Finally, The vice president broke the silence. Karen, you're not an electrician or a safety inspector. And you never filed a safety concern with the board. What happened next was something I will never forget. One by one, my neighbors started standing up, each with their own Karen horror story. The Patels, who were banned from growing certain vegetables in their own garden because Karen said they looked foreign. The Johnsons, who got hit with a hefty fine because their trash can was still on the curb 2 hours after pickup. And then there was Mrs. Abernathy, a sweet 70-year-old widow, who'd been getting daily violation notices about her bird feeder. It was like a dam had finally broken, and years of pent-up frustration just came pouring out. Nobody say another word, he barked, trying to take control. This meeting is over. He grabbed Karen's arm and tried to pull her away, but he stopped dead in his tracks. Two police officers were blocking the doorway. Karen Thompson, one of the officers, asked calmly. She just gave a stiff nod. We have a warrant for your arrest for criminal damage to property. As the officer started reading her rights and pulled out a pair of handcuffs, her husband immediately switched into full lawyer mode. He started arguing, insisting it was all a huge misunderstanding, that there was a reasonable explanation. But it was no use. The security footage of her tearing down the solar panels spoke for itself. Karen's carefully applied mascara started to streak down her face as the officers prepared to escort her outside. She turned to me, her voice cracking with a mix of fury and disbelief. "Do you know who I am in this community?" she shouted. "This will never stand." Her husband scrambled after them, already on his phone, barking orders to his legal team. We all watched through the window as Karen was placed into the back of the police car, her once perfect bob hairstyle seeming to deflate in the evening humidity. It was a surreal moment. Back inside the now quiet room, the vice president cleared his throat. "Well," he said, looking around at everyone, "I think it's time we vote on new HOA leadership, effective immediately." The motion passed with a unanimous vote. It was a huge relief, but that wasn't even the end of it. In a final, perfect twist, Karen's phone, which she'd left on the table in her hurry, buzzed with a notification. The vice president glanced at the screen and let out a short, sharp laugh. "Well, looks like the country club board saw the footage too. They just revoked her membership." The entire room erupted into applause and cheers. As we watched the police cruiser disappear down the street, it felt like it was carrying away not just Karen, but years of petty tyranny and clipboard-wielding oppression. It was the start of a new day for our neighborhood. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one.